tips, I'll back up a page here. Coming back again to this tile, this is really the dashboard in the hub where you keep living. You'll see manage tips. This is pretty straightforward in the last journey we have here today. I come into manage tips, and all of these tips are right. These are the success story of the connections and the notifications that you sent out. This is what you're looking, obviously, for the citizens to be reviewing and submitting for you. And all of these tips are then collected in one area here related to the cases of my agency. By default, what you're seeing is all of the tips. So you're seeing from the left-hand side, I have a case number. That's how I'm identifying these different tips. Gives a little bit of surface information here on the screen. More importantly, I can open each of these to see the real full detail of the entire tip. I can scroll through here, read everything that was given to me, and even more importantly, how can I follow up with this tipster? This person was anonymous, so I don't have any information here. But this second tip, for my case specifically, I can see that Jordan Whitmore was my contact that submitted my tip. I can read through here. I can see that no, Jordan did not want to remain anonymous. Great. What and how can I follow up with Jordan is all the way at the bottom here. Jordan's name, email, and phone number is here, and I'm allowed to follow up with him and gather more information on this tip.
And there's a lot more roadmap issues coming up on the tip as well, in terms of how we manage it, how we export it, things like that. Right now, we just simply want to get the leads in. Johnny.
It's exactly the point I was going to make. If somebody wanted to cut and paste that into a records management system, then at that point, it gets to a point where, we know it's going to be discoverable, exculpatory, whatever, so that law enforcement has to follow up on those tips at that point. It's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Well, if it says, now here's two considerations. If you're a law enforcement agency and you get the tips, yeah, how you put that into your RMS and do everything, that's up to you. On our side, when we're talking about NCOUC having our group 1, 2, and 3, when we get the tips in, all we're going to do now is identify who does it need to go to, and then we will send the tip, the same information, send the tip to the law enforcement agency, through email, just like that. So you'll still get it in an email. I was actually having this discussion with one of the analysts from the state police. I had one of them joined as a volunteer, and I chatted with her this morning, and she's going to help actually identify, like for their cold cases and fugitives, what's the central point of contact or the central email we need to send stuff to. So, but think of it, it's no different than what Crime Stoppers does, right? Crime Stoppers get something, they fill out a form, and they send it to you, Johnny, and here's our Crime Stoppers lead. Then you enter that form into your system and you track it that way.
Another great area, though, for roadmap potentials of what Morgan just said.
Yeah.
If there's search, it can do a lot of things: searching features, exporting of these tips, so you could put them into another system more easily. I think there's a handful of things we could do here. What I will say for the time being is this is defaulted created on, is what you're seeing over here. That's when this tip was submitted. So all it's doing is putting those tips, the newer tips, up towards the top. There's a bit of feedback and just kind of confusion of where tips are living. So we sorted on this to make sure that those newest tips are always towards the top. But any of these are clickable. So if right now I want to look at cases that are all related to each other, if I click on case number, now you can see this actually resorts my list. And this case has 4 different tips. They're all by each other. It's much easier for me to review. And I can now take an easier look at this as well. And I can click and maneuver and change these tips and the different filters and how they're sorted just by clicking on any of these different titles.